back to Sticks and Strings. I'm Naomi.
I'm Beth.
I'm Eve.
And Eve keeps cracking the table. We hope you're having a great start to your August. We're about a week in and a week closer to somebody's birthday.
Yeah, a little bit. My birthday is next Friday.
Yeah, so we are so glad you're here. If you know us, you know that we like to grab our sticks and strings. We like to make noise with the table. And we like to have loud air conditioners because it is August in Arizona and you need a loud air conditioner. Sorry about that.
It was only 111 yesterday.
Only, yeah, no, I know. But when I woke up this morning at 4:30, it was 94 degrees in the dark.
In my room, the air conditioner hadn't kicked on. I was like, oh my God, it's so hot in here.
Yeah, so that's all we ever. That's all we ever talk about. In the winter, we'll be bragging that it's so nice. But so we like to grab our sticks and our strings and our crafts and sit around and chat a bit. So get yourself ready and sit back and enjoy the chat with us. I'm going to go first. I told myself on August 1st I was going to start Hannah's friend's top that is exactly like Hannah's top that I made. I'll show you here a picture of Hannah's finished garment. You might notice that there are there's yarn hanging. I hadn't woven in the ends yet. So, but this is a picture of her top that I made. And I am working on the one for her friend. And I started on August 1st, and this is how far I've gotten. I am 3 repeats away from finishing the back, and then I will work on the front. So I have faith in myself that I'll be able to finish this before Hannah lands on the 24th, 5th, whatever she's coming in. And have it sewn together and blocked. You'll see the 2 little, maybe you can see it, stitch markers. This is the bottom, so this is the bottom flap that is loose, and then you stitch it here to the bottom of the armhole, and then the rest of it is to the shoulder. So that's how this works. And this pattern is super simple. It's just knitting and purling and wrapping and dropping the wraps. So that pattern is made by 5 stitches with the yarn wrapped around the needle twice, and then when you go back you knit the stitch but drop the wraps, and so it creates this window, and it alternates over 5 knit or purl stitches. So it makes that lattice work. It's really pretty and easy, and now that I know how to do it, it's been much faster. Although early this morning when I was knitting, I wound up with an extra, well, first of all, it was last night I think, I dropped the needle out of a bunch of stitches and tried to put them back, and I found the stitches, and there was, the yarn that had been dropped out across them, and I tried to put it, and I must have created an extra one, although I can't find it. But this morning I wound up at the end with an extra stitch. So I just purled them together, and now it's fine. So somewhere in here it's off by 1 stitch, but by the time, and I thought, well, this is the back, so it won't be like someone looking at the top and saying, this one stitch off there by 1 stitch. So anyway, that's it's a glitch. That's the glitch for this mission so far, and
bad spirits can get out.
So so it's going well, and that's really all I've been working on. I sometimes look longingly at my big sweater, but it's kind of nice to have a break from it, and I'm glad to know that I'm not allergic to the mohair. Because while I was knitting that sweater, my eyes have been itching horribly. And I'm like, oh, what if I'm allergic to it? Because I've never really worked with mohair. I've been around it, but I've never really worked with it in my face. And my eyes were so itchy, and I thought, what if I'm allergic to it? Well, I put the sweater down, and my eyes were still itchy. So it's not that. It's just the dust and the pollen that are in the air. So
yeah, I read something about how there was like an air quality advisory
Yeah,
because
I
of
think
the
there's been
back-to-back.
some almost every day.
Yeah, back-to-back dust storms.
and then I guess we're also getting some Colorado fire
Yeah.
smoke.
It was saying
But-
something about how air
Yeah.
quality problems and
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's been nice to have a little break from my giant sweater, and this is much cooler to knit in my lap. So, and Hobbs doesn't bother it as much. But anyway, that is me. So Beth, you're going next.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of fixing a problem here that I realized at the last minute, and I lost it now. Can't really see in this funky light. So I'm gonna pull this thread out before I lose track of it. Okay, well, I'm just gonna have a thread hanging here in the front because I don't want to make more of a mess than I've had. So, for August cross stitch camp, the prompt
I'm
was
gonna move your
to
drink out of your face.
was to stitch something new to you. It's what Sherry typically does for August. New designer, new threads, new fabric, new whatever, just something new to you. And so I've never done a design by Robin Pickens. This is Glory in the Wind. It was very popular, I guess it came out at Market. Stylized, flag design. And it says established 1776, United States of America, 250 years. And I guess there's an alternate thing in the pattern here that instead of America or 250 years, you could put July 4th down here if you wanted to.
Well, if you're not working on it this year,
yeah,
you might want to change that. So.
But so anyway, this is the pattern I was doing, and right now, pardon the thread hanging down the front. I just, like I said, I just discovered a mistake I made. I stuck the needle in the wrong hole. But anyway, so I did the top, the established 1776, and I've been working on the little ribbons, the red and white stripes. There's like 2 other colors of red that go in here that I haven't done yet because I'm sort of doing, color completing of, and some of these are like half done stitches because I ran out of thread and went on to something else.
Put something behind it because it's all.
Oh yeah. But so then I did 2 of the 3 birds that are here. The third one is down here, and it was a little too far to count to. I was afraid of making a mistake. So I've been doing other stuff, around it to sort of get to that point. And I started doing, there's a dark blue block right here in the corner that's the blue star field of the flag. So I'm working on that little by little here. So it's coming along very nicely. I think I started on August 1st, and I worked on it basically every day until yesterday. I worked on it in the morning when we went to our stitching group that we've been going to. I worked on it in the morning there, and then when we got back, I decided to work a little bit more on. To start a little bit on frostbite. This is one of my WIP-GO calls for this month. So, and on this one, I had done most of the white of the snowman, except for down here, the bottom part of it, and I had done like that outside edge of the snowman's snow person's body. But so last night I filled in this. Had done a lot of the white here, but then I filled in the bottom of the snowman because this is determines the bottom edge of this white part. So I thought it would be easier if I went ahead and did that because there's these little peaks, and the white goes in, upside down in those peaks there.
Are you gonna have room for the snow?
Barely, because I think I had this piece of fabric and I just like, it'll fit. So like, yeah, because
That's unusual for
Oh,
you to
yeah.
have it so close.
yeah, I don't know, and you know, and I don't know why I was so determined to use this piece of fabric. I just had it, but uh, as a matter of fact, because as I was stitching, I was thinking it would be nice if it was a little darker because you could see the white better. But in this design, most of the snowman is encircled with this dark circle, and then around the edges is this white, the snow and these little branches and bats and stuff. They're in the basically in the dark field, and then at the very bottom of the snow, there's a like a light gray, like this color that's on the bottom of the snowman. There's another row of it down under the snow here. So it's really not white against white so much. So it'll show up better once I fill in that outside circle. But everything except for the dark, it's I think it's not quite black that's around the snowman, and then the white of the it's a whiter white that makes up the outside, the branches and bat and stuff like that are in there. So once I finished that, because I did finish all this outside, and I finished this along the edge of the snowman's head and under the hat and stuff. So all that's left is those little white details and the dark circle around it, and then the white underneath.
You know,
here.
if you feel like you don't have room, you could just make a circle of white under here and just not do all that under there. Just make it round.
You can barely see it anyway, so.
I think it'll fit because of how many rows it is. It's just that it'll be, you know, right, like half an inch or something of the edge, you know. But yeah, but you know, if I'm thinking I want to make it into like a little pillow or something.
That time it wasn't me.
But even if I were to like make it some kind of a flat finish or whatever, that's kind
It'll
of
work.
enough.
It'll
Yeah,
work.
yeah, that's enough to.
I do
Yeah.
small margins all the time.
Yeah. So you know, for one day of stitching, you know, I've cleaned up a lot of the details. Like there's really only about 4 or 5 rows down here at the bottom of the snowman before the snowman's body will be finished, and then the rest of it is just the outside details. So, and
She's clapping for you.
huh?
Rogue is clapping for you with her
With their
ears. Sounded like applause.
So that's really all I've done. Is the Glory in the Wind for this past week, and then one day of frostbite. Cool. So I'm done. That's me.
Okay. Unsurprisingly, I am still working on Murder in the Garden. I don't really work on it during the week when I'm stitching, except I've been taking it to stitching group. But yesterday, I got a third bird done.
Oh, wow.
So I have one more bird. But right now, while I was stitching it, I was like, why is this not reaching where it's supposed to?
Oh, no.
Right? Well, it's because I left off a whole bunch of green. Of the light green, I guess I ran out of thread. And so I said, I'll come back and put that in. And I never went back and put it in. There's a whole section that's missing. So I was like, okay, I guess I better.
But it's not a mistake.
No. It is a mistake. I didn't fill it in. But
I mean, it's not like you put something
In the wrong
right
place.
spot.
no.
Yeah.
I realized when I was stitching yesterday that one of the reasons why I was so off when I started putting in birds and stuff, or at the end of making the circle, is that right here, it's wrong. And it knocked off, this leaf is wrong here. Oh, sorry. You can't really see what I'm talking about. This leaf is wrong, and so it made everything else
Oh,
wrong.
no.
So
So now what?
I live with it.
She's just fudging it.
I'm just gonna go. Nothing I can do about it now.
When it's round and turned into a pumpkin, you won't be able to see any of that.
And if you can, you know, what are people gonna come in my house and just, you know, examine I'm not taking it to the fair or anything, so. The fair's too far away now. Not far away in time, far away in distance. It was far before, but now it's even further. Plus, I don't like driving anymore. So, as I mentioned, it was 111 yesterday. This is my temperature chart, temperature pets. And I'm starting on a new, because it's a new month, I'm starting on a new animal. So here's the beginning of the schnauzer. This is
He's
the
very
one-
red.
He's
Yeah.
very red.
It's gonna be all
He had
red.
an orange day.
One orange day.
I think it's gonna go back to orange soon.
Yeah,
so,
actually.
and then eventually we're gonna get into some yellows. And I did a little bit more back stitching on Dark Forest by Tiny Modernist. So I've actually got one flower completely done, almost done. See?
Oh, wow.
It's really hard to get the back stitching in where you're supposed to get it, to make it look like a flower, because you go in between, you know, the stitches and stuff, but once
Yeah.
you get it in there, it starts really
It's really
popping
pretty.
the design out. I love Tiny Modernist, but she does love back stitching. And so does Hands-On Design, by the way. And I'm looking at this thing going, I am gonna regret not doing the back stitching as I go along
The pumpkin?
on this, on this pumpkin.
Oh.
Cause it's got a lot of back stitching.
Oh, really?
Yeah. All the leaves have back stitching, and each of the flowers have back stitched little like stamens.
Mhm.
And there's back stitching to connect the flowers to the vines. And the only back stitching I did was the legs on the birds because I wanted them to look completed. There's a lot of back stitching on them. Lastly, none of us have been really working on anything except for concentrating on one thing. I started Raven's Harvest Moon on August 1st, and I have been working on this almost exclusively, but I start working on it, it's very,
Intense.
what is the word I want to use?
Full coverage?
Well, no, I mean,
what was
the
it? Like
pumpkin is, but
Like, what do you call it? Pixelated?
yeah. And so I have to really concentrate on, you know, I'm doing a lot of frogging and putting it back right. And the colors look very similar to get the pumpkin, you know.
It's so pretty, though.
And
Let me see what you've done so far.
and it only kind of sort of looks like the pattern, like the picture.
Yeah, because it's pixely.
Did you start? Oh, you start on the bottom.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
started in the middle bottom
Mhm.
because it was the easiest
Yeah.
place to start. So the pumpkin's gonna go to about here, and then the rest of it is,
Oh, it's big, huh?
yeah, it's huge. So I'm
Can I see
gonna,
the pattern?
I'm gonna concentrate on it this month. And then I'll leave it in
Oh,
my,
it's big.
Oh, I see, yeah.
I'll leave it in my stitching, I have a bin, and I leave it in the stitching bin to just keep working on it, try to work on it at least one day a week or something like that.
What's nice is on that color fabric, the black is going to pop.
Yeah.
Much better even than it does here, because it's like a black fabric.
Yeah, some of these colors are not as bright as they are on that black, but I think that overall it's gonna work.
I think it's going to be absolutely freaking gorgeous.
Well, you know, it's a gorgeous pattern.
It's so pretty.
Mhm.
I love how the pumpkin looks woven or
It's
something.
a plaid pumpkin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neat, neat, neat. The moon. Or maybe that's another Death Star. I know that's not a Death Star.
Das Moon is blue.
And it has all these eyeballs. The flowers look like eyeballs to me.
They do.
That's so pretty.
They do.
I can't wait to see you.
It's got a lot of specialty stitches. I was thinking about doing it for August cross stitch camp, but I just, I'm not going to get done.
Yeah,
I'll be done. I'll be working on it next year.
yeah.
Like I said, I'm going to try to concentrate on it for this month. I am going to do my WIP-GO stuff, but I'm not going to get as much work done on my WIP-GO as I would have. And
So you're not doing cross stitch camp for August? Right?
no, it just seemed kind of silly because
Yeah.
there was no way I was going to get it done.
Yeah. That way you don't pressure yourself to, to like, oh, I'm going to try to get this done.
Well, I am kind of pressuring myself because at some point Helen D is going to start it. She said she was going to start August 1st, and then she decided not to start it August 1st. And then this last time she said, oh, I'm going to start it. And I'm like, I'm just going to keep working on it. And she stitches really fast, and I do not. So it's kind of good that I started before her.
Is she doing like a stitch-along kind of thing?
Not really, just, if anybody wants to stitch it, the
Yeah.
same time I'm stitching it kind of thing. But she gave me the push to start a pattern I fell in love with at Market, because otherwise it would have just languished in my stash. Well, I'll work on that when I have time, or I'll work on it when I get up the courage, or I'll work on it, when this and that and the other, and it was just kind of a little kick in the butt to get it started. So that's me.
All right.
I meant to say, when I was talking about frostbite, this is Amanda May McNaughton for Ardith Designs.
All right. Well, that brings us to our question of the week. Last week we asked about your FFOing habits. FFO, for those of you who don't know, means finally finished object. Fully finished.
Fully
Okay.
finished.
And
Or finally finished.
in knitting, we just call that blocking. Okay. And Radiant says, I try to FFO things as soon as I can so they don't end up in the under the bed box. However, unless the piece is for someone else, there's a 50-50 chance it will end up in the box until I get around to finishing it. The finished piece she's most proud of, and so far the only one I've had professionally framed, is Teresa Wentzler's Unicorn, done on 32 count black Belfast linen. That sounds pretty. I have to look that one up. Homespun in Wales says, if it's a gift, then it's always fully finished. But if I'm working on something just for enjoyment for myself, if I can, it can end up in a box. But items of clothing are always fully finished. Mary Passmore says, Eve, your fully finished project is absolutely beautiful. Love seeing all the other projects. Unfortunately, I wait until I have a stack and then fully finish. That sounds like that. My proudest piece is Summer Quaker by Jardin Privé.
Jardin Privé.
Jardin Privé.
Jardin Privé. Yeah.
Summer Quaker that I entered this year in our county 4-H fair with my husband's urging. I received a blue ribbon and champion ribbon for it. Congratulations!
What was the name of the pattern?
Summer Quaker.
Summer Quaker.
Summer Quaker. Okay.
He's now urging me to stitch a piece for our state fair next year. Go for it. We shall see. Noreen Curry says that she tends to totally finish items as she goes. If sometime in the future they stand a chance to be saved rather than, and what is this supposed to be? So that's great. Thank you so much for your comments. So this week we wanted to ask you about your snacky snacks. Do you like to snacky snack when you're crafting? If so, what do you snacky snack on? I get snacky snacks from, little baby Grogu, baby Yoda. Well, they would always do memes of him because he always likes to eat, so they would say snacky snacks. So, what do you like to snack on? Do you snack? And if you do, what do you snack on?
What made me think of it is I'm always very careful to not have anything on my hands when I'm stitching, especially since I stitch in hand, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I was thinking about we're gonna play a game for my birthday, and I was like, we're gonna be eating at the same time. I don't know about that.
We'll probably eat first and then play because it's Mark's games.
Yeah, we don't want to get anything on it.
Yeah, but
It's kind of the same, you know.
On Thursday, when we went to get sodas before we went to one of the craft groups. We do one on Thursday, one on Friday. And so on Thursday, neither of us had eaten breakfast, and so when we went through the McDonald's to get sodas, Eve decided on a whim to get the little pies, and we usually get the strawberry and cream pies, which are very good, but they only had one. So
He goes, "How about apple?" I went, "Yuck."
I like their apple pie.
But since with the FIFA thing, they brought back the fried apple pie. So it's a deep fried pie that rather than whatever their regular apple pie is now. But so we took a few minutes in the car to eat before we drove on to the thing, except that so I had the fried apple pie. And it was very hot, and so I was like, trying not to burn myself while I was biting it. But then part of the filling spilled out onto my chin, so it was burning my chin. So I wiped it with my hand, and it was burning my hand. and like
molten lava pie,
the cat in the hat. And so I was like, I had a napkin, and I was trying to. So after I had eaten this pie, trying to keep the goop from falling out. I was sticky all over. I didn't want to touch anything because my hand was sticky, and so when we got to the crafting place, I went to the bathroom right away because I was like, I'm sorry, I have to take a bath first before I go in there. So and then yesterday, somebody had brought donuts, so we were trying to wrap it in napkins and not get donut sticky all over us.
Yeah, I snack while I knit, but I usually will do something like nuts or maybe like a granola bar that I keep in the package. I don't, so that I don't get stuff on my hands.
I like pretzels for that.
Pretzels, I like getting pretzels.
Well,
but so,
they make these little finger chopsticks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That you can grab your snacks with like that, and I was like, do I want some of those?
But then you can't really stitch with those on. You can.
No, but you can keep them by your stitching.
Yeah. Like little chopsticks, yeah.
Yeah, I saw somebody that a long time ago that had a bowl full of Cheetos, and they had big chopsticks.
Yeah.
And they would grab the Cheeto with the chopstick,
That's
so they wouldn't get Cheeto dust all over themselves.
Or I just take a snack break.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I do now. I just, if I'm hungry or want a snack or something, I just put away my stitching so it doesn't get anything on it, and I go and
Yeah.
But.
So let us know what you guys like to do. What was I going to say? So, okay, I have a story that is kind of sad and infuriating and hard that I went through this week. A lot of our patrons are older, and so I'm used to talking with older people on the phone, and it's great, it's fine. And I actually like helping them, get their tickets or whatever. Well, I had this lady call, and she was very picky, fussy, didn't like the prices of the tickets. Everything was kind of hard. And I was like, why are you working, it is what it is, and this is a fun thing. It's a concert. It's not groceries, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
To be so angry about. But we finally found her 3 concerts worth of tickets, and she went to pay, and I told her the total, and she was like, oh my gosh. And so she said, well, I'm gonna have to put these on 2 different cards, and then those cards didn't work. And she started to get upset, and she's like, I don't understand why they don't work. Because I split the payment in half, and then she's like, well, do less on this one, and it still didn't work. and the expiration dates were in like early 27, so part of me thought that maybe she had new cards sent to her and she just didn't realize. But I could tell she was all alone and should not have been doing this by herself. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but you know, what can I do? So I told her, well, I will hold your tickets in reservation, which is not really our policy. So you can call your bank and figure out what's going on, and then you can call me back. And she also wanted to add another concert, even though she was worried about spending the money. She wanted to add another one so that she could get 15% off. And I was like, okay, so that's fine. And so she's like, I'm going to call you back and also have another concert so I can get the discount, because she just wanted the discount, even though you're spending more money to pay less. So I, I was like, okay. And then I got to work the next day, and I told her, if I don't hear from you in a few days, I'm going to have to call you, because obviously if you're not going to buy these, I have to release them, right? So I got to work the next day, and I had a voicemail at from midnight from her saying, I've got, everything's worked out, and I've got my concert picked out, so please call me in the morning. So I called her, and she didn't answer, so I left her a voicemail. So she calls me back, and I said, hi, how are you doing? This is, this is, I always answer, this is Naomi, It's like, and she's like, I can't remember, she's like, this is, her, and she gave me her name, and I was like, hi there, how are you doing? Because I was expecting her to call me, right? And then she starts crying, and she says, I'm not doing well, and I don't have my pain meds, and she's crying and upset, and I said, well, she goes, my doctor won't call me back. I don't know what she was saying, just unloading and crying on the phone, and I'm heartbroken. I was heartbroken the day before, because I felt, I got an inkling that something was wrong going on with her. But there's only so much you can do. I'm working in a performing arts thing. I mean, I can't, but so when she called me and she started crying, I was like, do I need to call the police for a welfare check? Do I need to, what do I do? And I said, is there someone there to help you, or is there someone that can help you that you can call? And she's like, no, I don't have family here. I'm all by myself. I have a neighbor, but she's in and out of the country, and just on and on. And I'm like, well, like, is there someone I can call for you? And I said, do you want me to call your doctor? Like, I didn't know, like, what help she needed, and I didn't want to just be like, give me your money for the tickets, That's not in my nature. So when I said doctor, though, she was like, wait, who are you? And I said, this is Naomi, my company. And she's like, it was like a switch, kind of. She's like, I'm so sorry, I thought you were a different Naomi. And I was like, no, there's no different Naomis. There's almost no Naomis. But so I was like, yeah, I was calling about your order. I said, but if you want to, we don't have to do this right now. We can, your tickets are saved. We can do this. No, I want to do this now, because because she told me the first time she called that she tried to call when we went on sale in public, and she couldn't get through. Which, yeah, because if we had a certain number of people, it kicked you out and said, we can't take your call right now. Call back or go online, right? So that's probably what she meant. So she said, no, I've been trying to do this forever, and I don't want to lose you. So no, I just want to do it now. It's fine. And then she's like, hang on. And she's looking for something, and then she starts crying again. She says, I had it all written down on a piece of paper, and I don't know where it is. I don't know. And I'm like, it's okay. If you need time to find it, you can call me back. No, I want to do it right now. So she's gone for a long time finding her stuff, and she comes back and she adds a concert and said, okay, I can give you the 15% discount. Well, can't you give me more discount than that? I'm like, the discount I can give you is 15%. This is the discount. And she was very cantankerous. Well, she had told me that she's in all this pain, and she doesn't have her pain meds, and she hasn't had her pain meds since June or something like that. And she was so she kept saying, I'm sorry, I'm just in so much pain, and on and on and on. And so finally she's like, I want to split this between 3 cards. So, and every time I pressed go on them, I'm like, please, Lord, please. But they all worked. And then she wanted them mailed to her because she doesn't really do email. And so I was like, okay. She said, well, when are these going to go out in the mail? When are they going to arrive? And I said, well, she said, when are they going to go in the mailbox? And I said, well, when do you need them by? Because, I usually do printing, and it's all me. I'm the only one. It's just me. It's whatever I say. But I wait until I have a good batch because of the process. And I keep track of how many ship orders need to go out, and I wait till I have, 10, 5 or 10. Or if it's been 2 days or 3 days, right? So this was Thursday midday, and I was like, and when I said that, she's like, well, that's not the question. The question is, when is this going to go in the mailbox? And she started to get ugly with me. And the first time she called, she started to yell at me about, and I was like, ma'am, I'm trying to help you. On the first day, we had this conversation. The second day, she's yelling at me about, now she's yelling at me again about mailing. And I said, at the earliest, it will go tomorrow. She goes, it can't go today. And I'm like, lady, I'm not going to overnight these to you. I didn't say that. I refrained. But I was like, she goes, you can't go today? And I'm like, no, it can't go today. So hopefully we'll go tomorrow. And that's what I was trying to say. Are you okay with it coming early next week? And she's like, well, these are gifts. And if they don't come on time, the whole effect will be lost. I don't know what, I have no idea. But it was just this huge ordeal. And finally, I got her to calm down, and I'll be putting them in the mail tomorrow if I, and so it just, I hung up that call because I'm like, I don't know what to do for you. Obviously, this whole thing should not even, like, I always joke with my friends. I'm like, I don't want to, like, and I sometimes tell my daughter, I'm like, you have to buy all my tickets for me when I get old, because I see so many people trying to navigate all this, or they buy from third-party sellers because they don't know, and they pay $800 for a $75 ticket, and so I so and little old people being by themselves makes me cry, so I I hung up the phone. I took off my headset and I threw it on my desk, and I walked into my boss's office, and I was like, I need hazard pay. And I was so upset. Like, it just made me so sad because,
You can't help her with what she really needs.
Right. I can't do that. And I have no means to. I mean, I have her address, and so I was like, do I need to send someone for a welfare check? Do I need to call, elderly services? What do I need to do? And is it even my place to do something? But you're touching another human being in this moment, and you're like, this person over 2 days, and I have a feeling it's not over, because I have a feeling, this will come back. But I and it's easy to, a lot of times, a lot of people get upset or laugh at people, but it to me, it's like, this is a human being who was in control of their life at some point, and now is losing that, and you can tell. And in our demographic where I work, that happens a lot, and it's very hard to see and watch happen. And so that was a really rough day on Thursday, and I got the mail. I got it in the mail on Friday or late Thursday night, so we'll go out early Friday morning with the mail when the mail truck came.
And,
it was really hard. Sorry to be a downer. I don't mean to be a downer, but that's like story time. This is my week that I had.
It's so hard when you see elderly people that are by themselves.
Yes, it's awful.
We always think about,
And
like,
also,
at the grocery store or something, you see some old person walking across the parking lot, and you're like, where are their family? You know, where's somebody to help them because
I
they're
know, but sometimes
you
you
know,
don't have family.
yeah, especially
know?
out here where there's a lot of people come out here to retire or whatever.
Right, right,
You know.
right. So, but same day, I'm stamping the mail because I'm like, doggone it, it's gonna go out tomorrow's mail because I don't want to get a phone call next week. So I was stamping the mail, and one of my colleagues comes in, a young lady, and it was me, our big boss, and another gentleman still working. And she goes to the other gentleman, and she's like, "Can you help me? My battery is dead, and can you help me jump it?" And he goes, "I don't have cables." So I popped my head out of the little place where our mail thing is, and I was like, "I got cables." And it turns out no one else in the office knew how to, well, in that side of the office knew how to jump cables. Everyone else that knew, jump a car, everyone else that knew had gone already for the day. But so I called Mark because he has a little cheat sheet that he keeps on his phone of like red to good, red to bad, black to bad, black to ground, or whatever. Or actually, it's the other way around. Black to good, black to ground on the bad car. Anyway, so he has this little cheat sheet. So I called him, and as I was moving my car, I'm like, "Please send me that." So there I was out in the heat, and everyone else was like, "Oh, how do you do this?" And when I went to start my car, they're all standing back. I'm like, "It's not going to blow up, people." Anyway, it was very funny, and I was like, "No, my dad insisted that we all knew how to do these things." So the next day, another friend of mine from the other building, who would have known how and could have helped, and maybe had cables in his car, I don't know. But he was like, he teased me, and he was like, "I can't believe this." So, backstory, I started listening to Lonesome Dove, the book, and found out that he was ahead of me in it and has since finished it. So we chat about it sometimes. And so he and I were chatting about how, "I can't believe they didn't know how to jump a car, blah, blah, blah." So then I wrote him back. And if you know anything about Lonesome Dove, you will enjoy this. If you don't, you should read it. So I wrote him, I said, "My car is plumb dirty, and I nearly ruined my nice shirt trying to reach the battery because I'm so dang short, and none of them tall varmints would help me." And he writes back, "Okay, Gus." But so it was so hot. It was so hot, and the engines were so hot, and I was miserable. Cool
it was.
Get your wet lips off of me, doggy.
And it was 111, the official temperature where I was. It was likely more up in Scottsdale.
Actually, Scottsdale's cooler because, well, it's richer, but
they pay for the
they pay for the nice weather. No, it's higher elevation up there. It's out of the bowl, and they have a lot of, because Phoenix goes like that into a bowl, and it's up on a rise, so they even get a little bit of snow sometimes.
Yeah, once in a while.
And they have protected, at least in North Scottsdale where I am, they've protected a lot of their green space. Well, it's brown space, but they have natural shrubbery and all that, a lot of green spaces and green belts there. So it stays a little bit cooler up there. The weather's always a little nicer, and they get the rain first.
Yeah.
And it peters out by the time it gets to the hot bowl of Phoenix. So the weather is nicer, but it just, it's still hot there with a hot car. And my car is filthy, so I'm leaning up against it with my nice shirt trying to reach in the battery, and I'm like, "Guys!"
I remember when I was in Little Rock one time, my car wouldn't start. It needed to be jumped, and I had jumper cables in my car, and so I was at the Target parking lot or something like that, and I was trying to find somebody that would jump my car, and there was a guy there who had a truck or something, a big vehicle, and I asked him, could you jump my car? And he goes, "Oh no, I don't jump a car because he was somebody he had jumped a car once and something had blown up and blah blah blah." And I'm like,
"Then you didn't do it right."
Yeah. So finally somebody there helped me, but it was like.
But it was nice. She brought me Starbucks the next day to thank me, so that was fun.
Oh,
I don't do that anymore. I have AAA.
When you were talking about putting something in the mail, putting tickets in the mail, remind me of one of the things we used to do at Family Life when I used to work there. They did a certain kind of event. I can't remember what it was called, but they had actual physical tickets, and so up until a certain point, we mailed them, and then after that point, they would be held at will call at the event, right? Mm-hmm. And so this guy called to order tickets for that, but he had called inside that will call window.
Yeah.
You know, and so he asked me about when the tickets would go out in the mail, and I said these will be held at will call because it was like 2 days or something before the event, and I said they'll be held at will call, and he's like no, I want them in the mail. I said they cannot go in the mail, and like he wanted me to go and grab the tickets, and it's like, you'd have to stop the truck on the way to the event. I said that you cannot get them in the mail. They're gonna be held at will call. It's like he was like so I don't know, wanted to be unreasonable.
Our mailing stops 7 days prior.
Yeah,
it won't sell a ship ticket.
Yeah,
it won't sell it.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, we had a certain window, and after that point, you had to get your tickets at will call. And
but now we do mobile tickets, so that.
Is that Hank?
It's Hank chewing his nails. Hank, stop it.
I saw.
He's like, but these good nails.
I saw a thread of, Frankie the Chihuahua. I follow.
know you keep sending.
I know, but on one of them,
Look.
on one of them, they did a little thing of him with that song by Men at Work.
Yeah.
Where he says, I met a strange lady. She made me nervous. She took me in and gave me breakfast. And so they had the dog like I met a strange lady, and the dog's like looking at it like with big eyes. And then for the line, she made me nervous, they showed the dog like chewing on his paw. and then she took me in and gave me breakfast. They showed that somebody giving the dog a little snack.
Oh, funny. Those are cute. But it's been an eventful week for me. But I am going to the movies today. Mark and I are going to the movies with some friends to see the Odyssey and then going to dinner. So that'll be fun. I hope I don't fall asleep. I'm kind of tired. I had a friend, one of our volunteers came in. She's real sweet. She comes in to the box office and helps me in. She was like, her husband loves going to the movies, and he likes different movies than she does, and she's like, we had to go see the Odyssey. And I was like, oh, was it good? She's like, it was very violent. I fell asleep, and like, I don't know, and it was kind of weird. She said, I was like, okay. but yeah, so I don't think I'm gonna fall asleep because it's boring. I woke up at 4:30 this morning, and I was gonna go for my walk. I'm like, but when I woke up, it was pitch black dark, and the sun didn't come up till 5:40 something, 5:45, and I was like, well, maybe I'll knit till the sun comes up, and I did, and then I was like, maybe I'll go for a walk tomorrow, because it was already still 94, 95, and at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, no, that's kind of too hot, but without the sun blasting on you, it's not so bad, but I was just like, maybe I don't want to do it today, so, but yeah, so that's what we're doing today, and getting ready for somebody's birthday and for my daughter to come home. We finally picked a cabin in Christopher Creek, a little town just a little bit north of Payson, or I don't know, east of Payson, something up the mountain from Payson, and
wasn't there a youth camp up there?
Yeah, the one that
the
Corona
kids
used
went
to go to. Yeah, Mountain Meadows is right there.
I can't lift you up, honey. I can't.
Yeah, it was called Mountain Meadows.
Sorry, my dog wants me to pick her up.
I know, she's asking me to.
But I'll knock this thing off.
But yeah, Mountain Meadows camp is there, just up the road. So, yeah, we found out, because we want to go, did I tell you we want to go to the
Petrified Forest
National Park. And this isn't close, but I saw the picture of the front yard, and I was like, this is too cute. and it kept sticking in my mind. And then I read the reviews, and it all had, like, there was no review under 9.5. Like, it was, and mostly just 10s. And great reviews, and like 30 reviews. And so I was like, and that little front lawn just, and it has steps down to the creek. And now I don't know how full the creek is or not, but I think they've had rain, and it's totally tree covered, and I just kept thinking about that and looking at that picture, and I'm like, honey, what about this one? It's not, I mean, it's about 2 hours from the Petrified Forest, but that's what we drove when we were, I mean, not 2 hours, but when we went from Williams to the Grand Canyon, we took a long drive up there. And I'm like, you know, we could just drive, who cares? And so, and then we can go into Payson and everything. So.
Because if you wanted to stay up there, it would be dry and hot.
Well,
any
anywhere
closer to
like
the Petrified Forest.
So we could have stayed in Heber. It's still an hour from Heber, but there's no water in Heber that I know of. And
that
so
Christopher Creek area.
and we can go over
I think I was only out there like once or twice.
We can go over the freeway, over the highway into the Christopher Creek campground. They have a day use area, and they have a pond, a swimming pond there. And I know one young lady who would love that. So that's close by, that, you know, and so I think it's going to be nice. It's just be nice to get out of the heat. It's not as cold as Heber, and it's not as cold as Greer, but it will be good, I think. So
If it's anywhere out of the heat, it'll be good.
anywhere that's less than 100 will feel great.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I hear that other parts of the country that aren't used to 100 degrees are getting really hot temperatures.
Yeah.
You know, us, it's kind of expected, and we don't like go, wow, this summer is hotter than ever, you know. But some parts of the country are like,
unusually hot.
Yeah.
what is going on?
Yeah, we hope you all are staying cool and not too hot. And that you're not in an area affected by forest fires, because that's going on too.
Yeah.
It's usually us. But yeah. But I'm going to have to go. And so I can go and get ready. And it'll be fun. It'll be a fun afternoon. So.
Yeah.
And gotta do a few errands. One of the things, we're out of Pepsi. Diet Pepsi, and we're very upset about it.
That's important.
It's like a staple in life.
Robert gets mad because we buy so many sodas.
My mom used to tease us about what is it?
The essentials of life.
The bare necessities of life.
Yeah, bare necessities. Yep.
It's like, yes, mother, you drink coffee, I drink soda.
What would happen if you were out of coffee?
Yeah, I was going to say.
But we are so glad you came back and joined us for another week.
And, you know, we've had some new subscribers recently, and thank you for subscribing.
Yes, please, and tell your friends. We're getting up there. It's great. It's great. We always throw parties when we reach a milestone. So our next one is 700. So if you want to help us reach that goal, that'd be great. But otherwise, we will be here. Eve will be older the next time you see her. Significantly older by a week. And we will see you then. Thanks so much for joining us. Bye.
Bye.